Camp Nick. This was a Nickelodeon game show with only a pilot being filmed. From the screenshots that are available, it looks like the show took place in a forest, and multiple teams of kids competed in various challenges against each other, although it's unknown what the prizes would be for the winners, if any. Like with many of the lost Nickelodeon game shows, the only evidence in the form of screenshots that exist come from the same source. That source being the 10-year studio anniversary montage created in the year 2000. It's unknown if Nickelodeon still has the footage in their possession, as it might be the only footage of this pilot in existence, save for a couple of short YouTube clips.
Heaven, H-E-V-A-N.
Say that again.
H-A.
You want to try it again?
H-A-V-E-H. H-E, health, H-E-A-T-H. H-E,
Here you go.
Lingo, Season 1. If you've never seen this game show from the 2000s, it's essentially where the New York Times got their idea for Wordle, as the concepts are very similar, with players guessing a certain 5-letter word, and then, through visual cues, they're told whether the letters they guessed are a part of the word and if they're in the correct position. Most of the show has been archived due to the Game Show Network pretty extensively airing all seasons except one in reruns. Season 1, for whatever reason, never got this treatment, and as a result is mostly lost today. What's left is a single full episode, as well as the fail compilation you just saw a snippet of, in hilariously low quality. As well as this, the 2011 revival hosted by Bill Engvall is also mostly lost today, as plenty of people don't even remember the show being revived in 2011 due to practices of mostly keeping it under wraps and seldom rerunning it. Network executives, here's your sign. Tumbleweed Theater. The series known as Tumbleweed Theater was an anthology series that aired in Nashville for most of the 80s. It consisted of old westerns with wraparound skits and songs done by writers in the sky, who can be considered the hosts of the show. The show's preservation was dicey at best. In the 90s, a VHS compilation of the show was released only at Riders in the Sky concerts, but it did not contain all of the episodes. However, you can still watch the contents of it on YouTube today. That VHS later got turned into a DVD and sold on Riders in the Sky's website, but is now no longer available outside of YouTube. Outside of the limited home media releases, only a few episodes have slipped through the cracks, and it's unknown if physical versions of all the episodes even existed.
Cool! A concert! That's a fly tune! If I teach them some dance steps, they'll be all set. Oh, there it is. It's a guitar. Come in, number 1. We got a clue. It's a guitar. Repeat, guitar. Now I'm going online to enter my clue to complete the mission.
You're watching the Codename Kids Next Door Mission Weekend. Log on for more information.
Codename Kids Next Door Mission Weekend. Like many of the Cartoon Network promotional events from the early 2000s, this one, the Kids Next Door Mission Weekend, is mostly lost. The idea was to air a 51-hour marathon of K&D, with other shows mixed in, such as Ed, Edd and Eddy and Dexter's Laboratory, with bumpers that followed a story. That story being that the K&D built a satellite and they're searching for clues within the shows that aired. These bumpers would include characters from other shows crossing over into the K&D universe, though it's unclear if these were canon to K&D or the other shows used. Probably not, though. While a couple of these are available now, at one point there was a compilation of 8 of them uploaded to YouTube, which has since become lost again due to copyright claims. The Core. In this Atari 2600 game, players move around a circular track, basically playing a more directionally complicated version of Pong. The game was reportedly never finished due to complications during development. But an important thing I haven't told you is that this game was made around the turn of the millennium, as it was in fact a homebrew game. Developer Paul Oswood never finished the game due to complications, as the development slowed down towards the end. It's really unknowable if it would have had a release, however, as the hard drive containing the game was wiped out by a flood, deciding its fate before Oswood ever could. It was considered to just remake the game, but this never happened, and most likely never will. Penn & Teller's Fool Us website clips. Penn & Teller's Fool Us is one of my favorite shows the duo has ever done. It involves up-and-coming magicians showing Penn & Teller their act, and these magicians quote-unquote win if Penn & Teller can't explain how they perform their magic trick. Some of the magic acts were not included on the TV broadcast, and were instead aired on ITV's website, as the show started in Britain before we got a version here in the States. ITV strictly prohibited the distribution of these website clips outside of the UK, and the CW is technically not allowed to distribute any unaired material from this version. As a result, these clips are now lost. King Arthur and King Cornwall. This was an English ballad from the 17th century that's rather interesting, telling the story of King Arthur, who is spied on by a seven-headed monster sent by King Cornwall. Eventually, Arthur beheads King Cornwall, and after that, it's unknown what happens. This was not a folk ballad, which sets it apart from most of the ballads collected by Francis James Child. It's also set apart by the fact that it's one of the few ballads with the Green Knight as a character. Originally, the ballad was a part of the Percy folio, but unfortunately, about half the ballad is completely gone, never to be found again in all likelihood, as the original manuscript was used to start a fire. Unless there exists an earlier version of the ballad, the chances of finding the rest of King Arthur and King Cornwall are essentially non-existent. Rose of Versailles. The Rose of Versailles was a manga adaptation from the late 70s and early 80s that lasted 40 episodes. It centers around a fictional account of the French Revolution, with Marie Antoinette and a royal guard being the main characters. At the time of its airing, certain local affiliate stations declined to air past the 23rd episode. To appease fans and not end the series on a cliffhanger, a separate episode wrapping up the story was made specifically to end the series in these regions. In all other areas, the 40 episodes aired and never saw this lost episode, and it was not included in any home media releases. Unless someone has a recording they made of the lost episode, it's unlikely to get leaked. A Twitter user claimed to have a VHS tape containing the episode, and even uploaded screenshots, but it's unlikely this person will leak the whole thing, as they're afraid of copyright infringement, what with Japan's draconian laws on the subject.
His childhood slowed down, Uncle kinda scary, till Hagrid burst in the door and said, "You're a wizard, Harry." So he rode to Hogwarts with Hermione and Ron.
Congratulations! Why you guys are so racism? Nice song. But you are a big gay. I ever see.
Epic Harry Potter song instrumental version. Usually when a YouTuber composes instrumental music to be used in the background of their videos, they either release it and no one cares, or they don't release it and no one cares. Usually I wouldn't be talking about something like this, but this is an exception because at one point it actually was released to the public. The original Epic Harry Potter song was released by Jax Films in 2011 and has since been used in most episodes of his series Your Grammar Sucks. There was a YouTube upload of the instrumental that was deleted around 2019-ish, and that URL doesn't appear to be saved on the Wayback Machine. This wasn't released on one of Jack's channels, so it's unknown how this person got a hold of the instrumental, or why it was subsequently deleted. There is a version on YouTube today, but it is very choppy, and almost unlistenable compared to the old upload. It's possible that if someone were able to contact Jack, he might release it, as he himself has uploaded instrumentals of some of his songs, just not this one. Copeland's Herobrine stream. Herobrine is one of the most ubiquitous urban legends the internet has spawned. Back in 2010, the original stream of Herobrine by streamer Copeland was not as obviously debunked as a hoax as it is today, and plenty of people believe the character was actually viewable in-game. The original 2010 stream of Copeland encountering Herobrine is now lost, however. Livestream.com did host the link to this stream, however, this is no longer the case. And when inputted into the Wayback Machine, the link didn't yield any results, meaning the chances that anyone archived the stream through any other methods are slim to none.